Hi, welcome back to another video. And today I'll be talking about some new polling we got that shows Zohran Mamdani for the first time ever leading the former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in a polling. Now, for the longest time now, I have talked about, and most people know, that Andrew Cuomo has been leading the polls even before he entered the race just months ago. And now, for the first time, Zohran Mamdani, who has been surging recently in the polling, has now overtaken Cuomo in the polling for the first time in this New York City mayor Democratic primary race. And now this begs the question, is Cuomo actually going to fumble this race? Is Mamdani actually going to win, become the nominee, and probably win the November election, since it's not really that hard to win as a Democrat in New York City? So this was huge. This dropped yesterday. This is from the Political article. As you can see here, Zohran Mamdani, the young Democratic socialist who's been rising in the mayor's race, is now ahead of Andrew Cuomo with just 2 weeks into the Democratic primary. A new poll revealed in full by Politico found the survey conducted by Public Policy Polling for Democrat Justin Brown and City Controller campaign found Mamdani beating Cuomo 35% to 31%, a difference that is narrowly within the 4.1% margin of error. So yeah, you really it's not by much, right? It's a 4%, gap between Mamdani and Cuomo. It's not like Mamdani is suddenly walking away with this, which probably is impossible for him to do. I think, and I still think, and I've said this for multiple of my videos I made on this race, that I think this race is going to be very, very competitive. And I think whoever wins, either it's going to be Cuomo or it's going to be Mamdani, that whoever wins this primary, it is going to be super close. And they both will survive all the rounds except for the last one. One of them will go. Either Cuomo will lose or Mamdani will lose. And I think that the final round is going to be extremely competitive once all the other candidates are eliminated, right? Stringer and Adams and all of them, basically. And then once we have, once we get to the final round with just Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani, it is going to start becoming a nail-biting election. So, yeah, I thought about that for a while, and as the polls continue to get closer, it becomes more, it becomes more of a reality here. So, more into the article here. Cuomo has been the constant frontrunner. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Frontrunner since his March 1st entrance into the race to oust Mayor Eric Adams, the most publicly released poll showing him with comfortable leads. This new survey, which did not include a ranked choice voting simulation, stands to signal a reordering of the highly unusual contest ahead of the June 24th election. The poll of 573 likely Democrat voters was conducted between June 6th and June 7th after 9 candidates faced off in the first televised debate. The following day, June 5th, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorsed Mamdani, lending political star power to his campaign. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I thought the AOC endorsement would help Mamdani, do well or surge in the polls, and we are seeing that here. That is what we are seeing. I don't think that if AOC did not endorse Mamdani, I think that we probably wouldn't be seeing this. But now that she has, and now that it's been like almost a week now since that happened, we are really seeing Mamdani surge. And passing Cuomo is just going to be the beginning of it. I think that, within these next couple days, obviously there's 2 weeks until the primary election, that Mamdani will probably continue to surge. Either that, or it's going to become very competitive. We are now seeing, ever since, this news broke, Andrew Cuomo is now participating in interviews that he previously wasn't. He's getting out more, and he's realizing that he probably doesn't have this in the bag. So it is going to be a very competitive campaign within these final 2 weeks, and I think it's going to be a very competitive election here. So yeah, I think Mamdani, I kind of predicted, and so did others. Who I think to win right now, I think that Cuomo is probably still the favorite, but Mamdani has a much better chance than like a week ago to possibly be winning. If Mamdani is able to take over Cuomo in the polling here, where is it here? So we really haven't gotten any you know, polling updates yet on Wikipedia. But if there's an update and Mamdani takes over Cuomo's lead, that is really bad for Andrew Cuomo. And I think that could happen by the next couple days. It will be really interesting to see how the Cuomo campaign responds, because like I've talked about this before, back in February and in March, Cuomo had this dominating lead. Right now, on the Wikipedia polling, he only has a lead of 12 points. If Mamdani overtakes Cuomo on this next update of the Wikipedia polling, then I think that the Cuomo campaign will probably struggle to find out how to respond to this, you know, what they can do to try and combat it. You know, Cuomo was already targeted heavily in the debate, so we'll have to see. We will have to see. But as of right now, I think that Cuomo is still the favorite, but Mamdani is surging, and there's a lot of momentum on his side, despite the fact there's a lot of Jewish voters in New York City, there's a lot of old people in New York City, and, you know, I really expected from the beginning Cuomo to be the one to come out on top here, but that might not actually happen. We might be seeing here an American version of Pierre Poilievre, where Pierre Poilievre had this big lead, if you remember, back in last winter, and then that collapsed, and he actually lost the general election in Canada. So we could be seeing that, but with Andrew Cuomo, right? Andrew Cuomo has this big lead, and now it's starting to, you know, fumble and collapse. And, you know, this new upcoming politician comes around and possibly wins here. You know, we saw that happen in Canada, and it could also happen in New York City. Of course, the issues, you know, are completely different. One happened in a, you know, a federal general election in a country that isn't American at all, and one is in like the biggest city of the country. So, different stuff here. But you guys get what I'm saying, based on the candidates here. That could happen again, except in New York City. So it'll be interesting to see what else other polls drop, if Cuomo, you know, is able to take back some of this polling here, if Mamdani's surge continues. We will see all what happens in these next couple of days now, and especially I'll be updating you guys with whatever happens, and if there's a new polling drop, you know, and if Mamdani leads it, if Cuomo leads it, and if there's new Wikipedia polling. But yeah, stay tuned, because there'll definitely be more videos within these next 2 weeks. But anyways, that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.